For approximately 137 years, people in the town of Martinsburg, Missouri have been hearing the bell of St. Joseph Church practically every day. The ring of our bell has been a call to the start of Mass, a sound of celebrating a wedding, and a somber tone of saying goodbye to our deceased loved ones. Our bell is a beautiful piece of workmanship, and today, myself, Stephanie Wilburn, and John Becker are going to take you on a trip up the stairs to show you our beautiful bell. In putting this together, we used a little internet research, an audio recording of Albert Alber, and information found in our history room. We think Mr. Alber presented his audio recording to a meeting of the Ladies' Sodality on December 5th, 1977, and now we are presenting this to you during our Oktoberfest fundraiser in October 2023. First, we will begin with a little historical background. St. Joseph Church was constructed in 1886. Our priest at that time was Father Joseph Haar. Father Haar was ordained in 1883 and served a few weeks as an assistant pastor of St. Peter's Church in Jefferson City before being assigned to Martinsburg. It's interesting to note that there is conflicting information of where our church bell originated. In 1957, historian Frances Jacoby O'Meara wrote in her Centennial History of Martinsburg that our bell was salvaged after fires at the Missouri State Capitol. In Albert Alber's audio, he stated that that cannot be true. He states that the first Capitol fire was in 1837 and the bell was not cast until 1857. The second Capitol fire was in 1911 and our bell had been ringing in Martinsburg for 25 years at that time. Knowing that Father Haar had spent time at St. Peter's Church in Jefferson City, Mr. Alber reached out to the resident priest that was there at the time of his research and received a response from St. Peter's pastor at that time, Father Buchanan. It seems that the two corresponded via handwritten letters. Father Buchanan wrote, "The dates on the bell and the building of your church certainly suggest a few things to me. It suggests that the bell came from St. Peter's Church in Jefferson City." Father Buchanan went on to say that there was an extra bell and that Father Haar, being an assistant priest, would have known of the extra bell. At the time of this recording, I had made 2 phone calls to St. Peter's Church in Jefferson City, and I sent them my typed transcript of Mr. Alber's audio recording. They do have a church historian, but I have not been able to connect. I am still trying and hopeful that they might share with us some information about their church bells, and maybe that will lead to some additional information about ours. In listening to Mr. Alber's transcript, you had to laugh, and especially if you are one of the few that has made the climb up to see the bell in person. He said, "Thousands have heard it over the years, and most nearly every day of their lives. But few indeed have ever seen it, and no wonder. It's like climbing up to a squirrel's nest in a pin oak tree." So now we're going to begin our walk to the church bell. Our first flight of stairs. This takes us to our church balcony. From here, we enter a closet and utility room, and we start our next flight of stairs to the attic floor.
We're standing in the middle part right now where the mechanics kind of basically are. This is what tolls the bell, is our motors on this side, and it pulls these rods up and down, and on top of the bell there's a little hammer that smacks the bell, and that is our tolling part of it. And if we pan to the north side, there's an electrical box over here which runs the bell itself, that makes the bell swing as part of the toning. Okay, this rod down here is what runs the tolling from down below. We're up by the bell now. We talked about the hammer that tolls it, and it comes over and smacks the bell at this point. We're up by the bell right now. There's a large pulley up here, which I presume was used to ring the bell with the rope. The rope used to stretch clear down to the bottom, and you had to ring it from the first floor. If you pan over to the south wall, there's an old car tire, small tire off of like an old Model A or something like that, which I'm going to presume was tied to the rope to help absorb the shock from the weight of the bell. And now it's all mechanically done. There's a motor up here. And if you look up, there's a cable here that turns the motor, and that rocks the bell back and forth. It's a reversible motor, I believe, because it changes directions every time.
We will begin on the south side of the bell, where we see George Washington with a halo of 13 stars around him. On the east side, we see the face of Christ and also a note on the bell's origin, cast by Fr, which stands for Francis, Fr. Mayer and Company, St. Louis, Missouri, 1856. Our town of Martinsburg was not established until 1857. TowerBells.org notes that more than 300 bell founders are known to have worked in the United States during the past 3 centuries and lists St. Louis, Missouri as a major center of bell making. There were at least 37 different business enterprises known to have made, sold, or advertised bells in the city of St. Louis at various times during the last 2/3 of the 19th century. A few lasted into the first half of the 20th century. It lists Francis Mayer as operating from 1852 to 1866. Moving to the north side, we see the American flag with the banner that we think reads in Latin, E pluribus unum, which in English is out of many one. This was at one time the motto of the United States, in reference that a single nation was formed as a result of the 13 smaller colonies joining together. At the top of the bell, you will also note a decorated band up near the shoulder of the bell, depicting grapes and leaves and cast in fine detail. It is difficult to get a good view of the west side because it is obscured by the pulley that turns the bell, as well as by the framework that supports it. But here we see the features of Mary holding the infant Jesus are extremely well done, and the camera here hardly does them justice. Now I will end my video similar to how Mr. Albert ended his. It has been a long, active life for the old bell. 25 years at St. Peter's Church, 137 years at St. Joseph. For 162 years, 7 days a week, morning, noon, and night, it has proclaimed aloud the people's faith in God and their love for his blessed mother.